And then the final one, and I know I feel like I'm going on a rant here about what we should be considering, but the final one is all about digitizing subcontractor approvals. Now, very specific here, but I wanted to talk about it because I'm literally having a conversation with a client about how this is such a pain point. So rather than, I guess, with employees where they submit a timesheet, you've got a process inside any system that takes you for approval, reroutes that and make sure that it's validated by whoever's managing that person. Subcontractor approvals just seem to be forgotten to some extent in a lot of systems because they're now sat a lot of time outside the system, or they're not tracking time in quite the same way. It needs to go through a different flow. They've got invoices that need to match against potentially time that's being spent. And what always seems to happen is this is done via a manual email back and forth. So anything that's being now kept inside the system is taken outside and delaying the process, because you don't want to pay the person necessarily until you've validated with them that what they've done on the job deserves that payment. So some businesses look to try and track some time. That's not always possible, but at least that validation approval process internally through your project manager to go, yes, they've delivered this work, pay that invoice, just seems to be omitted from a lot of project management systems. So if you do have that, and this is something obviously workflow maxes are all over, then please ensure you've got a flow for this. It is something that has become critical because you've automated so much for internal staff that now a lot of your clients that have some subcontractors are looking outside and going, I just want like a portal where they've submitted something, they've said that we've done these tasks, great, goes through the internal team, we push it out, there's queries, and they answer those queries. And then once it's approved, we match it against the purchase order and make payment. Very quick, very slick, should be all done at week end, which is normally how subcontractors are paid, especially in the construction sector. So more of a flag for people's awareness. If you've got clients in this space, then this is something that is weak inside a lot of the systems and something you should focus on and should drive to some extent the system that you would select for them. Obviously something that work for Max are all over and trying to resolve.
Nice. Very nice, Ryan. Very big update.
You. So stuff is happening, right? It feels slower. It does feel slower, but stuff is still happening.
To hold your feet to the fire to say, there's quite a lot of innovation there from Workflow Max. We went a bit hardcore with them, but then great.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell, to clarify that, how much is actually in the system and how much is thought process and going, we should be doing this and it will at some point be delivered. This is something that people will be focusing on. Because when I dived into the product itself, they talked a really good game in these articles, but then actually inside the system, it was a bit simpler. But that's to be expected. It's more of an entry-level system. So it's flagging some businesses need it, some businesses need something more simple. We just need to ensure you've got the right system to meet your needs.
Should we end on one that is maybe a little bit away from accounting apps, but I want to get your perspective on as well. Really interesting to see Universal Studios is coming to the UK and is going to be down the road from me, so that's going to be exciting. This month, we've seen the launch of a new practice looking to take advantage of all of that extra construction work and construction workers that will be flooded into the Bedford area. So one of our digital disruptor network people, Alex Falcon, who has been on the podcast a few times and spoken to us about her challenges with Revolut and in general her big advocacy for AML and KYC and other types of technology that have been invaluable in helping her launch an international firm. It has launched another firm in conjunction with an accountant, and they're both looking to tackle the influx of construction workers and provide a lot of services and support to them. And the way that they say that they're going to do this is predominantly through AI and through technology enablement, through Zapier on the onboarding side, and looking at how they'll scale it on that side of things, with being able to have a Zapier that connects from one application to another. But then at the same time, they'll use a lot of AI to do the processing. And they quoted Dext Solo in the article, or some sort of beta testing for it, which Ryan, tell me more about what you think about this, because is it as simple as that? I think it's a great gap in the market, and I think it's a really valuable way of showing collaboration between accountants, really jumping on something that then is happening, and like it's a little bit of a blind spot for construction workers who will be impacted and probably don't have as much of an understanding of the tools that they could leverage. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think at this stage as a accounting firm, like saying that we're a cloud accounting firm. It's just doesn't mean anything, right? AI powered. The AI is in so many tools now that you can say you're AI powered to any extent. I think it's great to be in that small business space and automating and streamlining as much as possible, especially with MTD. You've got some powerhouses that are doing this. We've seen this done incredibly effectively with Mazuma. And so having more firms out there that focus specifically on the small business space, I think is really, really positive. And as I've discussed in firms before, you've generally got two approaches. You've got that high level advisory, or you've got that, it's like an engine room, right? It's all about churn. It's all about doing things really fast, really efficiently. And it's really hard to do both at the same time. So pick a lane, and they have, and I think that's really good that they've done that. And I'm interested to see how that rolls out. And maybe we can get them on in the future to find out exactly what their tech stack is actually delivering and how it's delivering it.